There we go. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. Thank God for the internet saving me here. But I think, think about that for a second. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. And I think, again, so many brands, especially in the early points, is like pushing for that perfect video. And it's just like, it's the enemy of good enough. Again, perfect, Golden Globe, whatever you want to call it. But in here, we've got this grey area, like you say, the light grey, I think you said, where it's like, it's on the good end of the grey area. That's the good enough point, right? And I think there's no need to go from good enough to try and push it towards perfect unless you are a filmmaker, because that's what you're going to be judged on. But if you're like, a product-based or a service-based or brick-and-mortar-based company, business, whatever, like, good enough is going to work just fine. What's up, guys? Rich here. Thanks for tuning in to the 2610 podcast, where me and the boys talk about how you can use content the right way to grow and scale your business. If you find this episode useful, then please share with a fellow entrepreneur, marketer, founder, or anyone else who might also get some value from it, and let's all grow together. With that said, let's jump straight into it.
Why do you think video is more engaging than other forms of content?
The old saying always used to be content is king. I disagree completely. I think now video is king. Like, that's how it should be. Just to read some stats to you here. Content is expected to account for 82%. Wait a sec. Video content is expected to account for 82% of all internet traffic by 2022. And I think it surpassed it, actually. So I was a study in 2021. It's more shareable as well. So it was 1,200% of more shares on social media than text and image content combined. And then 54% of consumers want to see more video content from brands they support. And a 2020 report said that the average time spent watching digital content in the United States alone had increased to 1 hour and 16 minutes per day, which is huge. Like, that's a crazy number.
Yeah, that's
so
big.
1 hour and 16 minutes a day on average found, like, across the US. And that was an increase of 19.8% on the previous year. So that was 2020. So what are we talking there? Like, COVID times, I get that, obviously, but, that was really the evolution of TikTok. I think 2019 was very much dancing times.
100%.
And 2020 really became like trend and stuff. And we're obviously seeing that now more now, should I say, with I don't know what happened there. My brain just went backwards. But yeah, with Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Twitter now as well, Facebook has adapted to it as well. And yeah, it's just such a huge thing. And I think just listening to those stats, I think just tells you the story there. It's more engaging. It's what people want to see. It's what people spend time watching and engaging with, sharing. And the sort of positives and the pros to creating video over other content is endless, I think.
Yeah, and I think touching on that like COVID period as well, like brands and businesses that started up through that era, I guess you can say. Obviously, like you said, it was the TikTok era, it was the Instagram Reel era. Everyone was making video content. So like when you're starting a brand and business, you probably have that over older brands and businesses and obviously now after a couple of years since COVID, they've started like keeping up with that. But just think of like new businesses and brands that have started up through COVID. They've used TikTok and Instagram and YouTube just to absolutely rinse video content and get their products or like business out there. And now we're like at an age, like you said, like the golden era where everyone's competing. So video content is king.
100%. So like in terms of that then, so maybe someone listening right now would be like, okay, great. So I know the video is what I should be doing. What should I be doing with it? So in terms of like emerging trends, like are we seeing any sort of like changes to the landscape of how people intake video, I guess, and how businesses can not only just keep up with the current times, but also stay ahead?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a couple of things that I've actually come across. One of them we actually spoke about previously, which was like brand documentaries. They're becoming like way more popular, especially for businesses or like startups, like to see their story and like where they've come from, how they've built it up. Like we were talking about this before. It's a great way just to introduce yourself to the social media world, and again the emotional connection to bring in like an audience, and then like they get attached to you, They want to follow your story and see your success. So that's like one big thing, I think, with the ways that business could go, like brand documentaries, 100%.
Yeah,
And then
for
also
sure.
AI powered videos. Obviously, we spoke about AI in like our first few episodes, and it's a massive thing. And obviously, there's no point battling against using AI. You might as well get on board and use it. And you can use AI powered video. Like there's a lot of businesses now that have started incorporating it into their videos. Obviously, a lot of people don't like to put a face to their business. I get that. Like some people camera shy. Some people want the business to be successful but not have to put their face out there, which is fine. Obviously, creating video, you need to put something in there. So they'll go along the lines of AI powered video. So maybe if you're not using that and you're camera shy, there's a little tip for you: AI powered videos.
That could work really well as like a promo. We've seen like the rise of AI, and it's not going anywhere fast. It's matter of fact, it's just building and growing stronger every day. But yeah, that could work really well for like promo videos and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think it would be that engaging on social media as such. I think there is still a huge I don't even want to say like need for seeing people's faces, but I think it's just much more engaging. And I think as social media evolves, still in another 5 years, it's going to be even more sort of like relatable, because I do think that AI will start to pick up more. People will start to use AI, and then when you see a face on, say, TikToks, YouTube, all these things, it's going to be like a zombie apocalypse. When you're running around the streets and then you see someone, you're like, "Way!" You catch up. You're so relieved to see someone. I think it's going to be very similar on social media in a few years when AI completely takes over, and then you see someone's face and you're like, shit, it's so great to see someone and actually hear someone's voice. So I think that's something to consider. But in terms of like promo videos and stuff, I think it would work well.
So you would say more like
your product.
Yeah. So you're saying more the AI side of it would be for businesses that are looking to like maybe sell a product, maybe.
Yeah, product, service, even brick and mortar. You've got a gym or something like that, and you want to like show off your sort of monthly costs, whatever it is, right? Like, it's just cool to like go onto a website, and again, right, we're talking about why is video more engaging. Instead of it just being list of things, there's a video there showing you what this company does, whether that is a product, whether it's a service that they deliver, whatever it is. And it's just an AI voice. My head is not working today. Like an AI voice with some B-roll that they've put in there for you, and it just works.
What about what's your kind of like view? Because I know that a few businesses have started doing this now. More so small businesses and startups with like live videos. Obviously you've got Instagram lives. I think you've got like Twitter lives now. I think there's like Twitter lives. Obviously TikTok lives is massive. Like, well, what would you say to like a business looking to go down that path?
I think you've got to be careful. We touched on this before, but like, when you put out a trending Twitter post, you said it in the last podcast, and then someone's just like, yeah, but where's my order? Right. So say you're finance company or whatever, and you're live, and then someone bounces into the stream and they're like, hey, you've still got my money. Like, how are you going to respond to that? And I think this is what not a lot of people sort of look at that. I think when you're big, like really big, you can do these things because if you get like an event with all your team or stuff, just stream it live, people can tune in. But I think like going directly live and doing like a Q&A type or engaging with your audience is cool if you're a personal brand.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a business, I think tread lightly, in my opinion, because if people start chirping up, hey, where's my order? Or, people even do this just to be like, there's nothing even behind it. They're just being dicks.
Just negative,
yeah, just being negative. And it's like, oh, I got your product, it didn't work, you didn't accept my refund, whatever. Like, how are you going to respond to that? And then you've got maybe 10 people on your live stream or 100 people looking to buy from you and see this negativity. They might not trust you anymore. So I think there's a fine line, and you've got to be really careful with it.
Yeah.
But, on the flip side of that, if you're a business starting up and you've just went viral on TikTok, for example, showing off your products, and, it's absolutely kicked off, going viral, for example, packaging products and just being like, thank you guys for your support. I'm just packaging stuff. People can interact and see their thing getting packaged up. It'd be really cool. I think there's definitely pros and cons to it.
Yeah,
But yeah, going back to the brand documentaries, I agree. I think it's a good idea. I also think, on the flip side of that, if you want to tell your story, then don't be afraid of just going, turning on your phone and just recording 30-second low budget video, and tell your story
okay,
that way too. Don't think about it in terms of like a huge, production side of things where you have to sit there and, fork out loads of stuff on the creative lead and all these people, like a director, some good lighting, like all these things. I'm
yeah,
not saying I'm against the good quality stuff, but I just think there's definitely, you can put across your story in more ways than just brand documentaries. I think they're a great idea, I do.
yeah,
But I don't
yeah,
think
definitely.
restrict yourself to that. A lot of businesses starting out don't necessarily have the budget to do so. Um,
Yeah.
with that then, I guess, to touch more on that and dig a little bit deeper, do you think quality, like production quality, is even important now?
Um, yeah, I think for me personally, I prefer the quality over quantity quote thing. For me, I just feel like the quality draws in people. Sometimes, like if I'm scrolling on social media and I see like a low, like you were just saying there about even just getting your phone out and doing low budget. Um, yeah, sometimes to me, I don't know how you feel about this. Like I get turned off of videos from that. Like seeing like low budget. Even like when people upload like on TikTok and they use like the auto captions. Like to me, I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't know why that might sound really big headed or lazy or I don't
Because
know,
you're a
but it just
video
doesn't.
guy though. You're a
Yeah,
video guy,
yeah,
so
yeah. I
you
love I
you
love
just you
like
see it as
scrolling.
lazy work, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I love scrolling. So when I see like cool videos, like something
Yeah.
that pops into my face, there's high quality videos, there's stuff going on. To me, like I would prefer that, and then I would also prefer that if I followed that person, they done like 3 to 5 quality videos a week rather than trying to post 7 days a week and like maybe 3 times a day. That's how I see it
Interesting.
really. I don't know how you feel about
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how I feel about it. I don't like shit content. I'll be like, who does, right? But I think
Yeah,
there's a line between, like, I always use the reference. It's like there's a huge gap between, like, a Golden Globe, for example, is like a really high polished, well produced video, and then just like a very shit video, like, is way
yeah,
down here. So you've got two ends of the spectrum, Golden Globe, and then a really really shit video. This grey area in here, like, you can get shit to like good video, but then once you get to like a decent video, like this bit here is like really grey. And I think only video people understand what this looks like. And you know,
yeah,
uh, I don't know. I think there's an element in there where people get too picky for what they are. I think,
yeah,
big brands, Nike, Amazon, like all these sort of like brands, they should be looking more on this scale, trying to get it as close to that as possible because they're obviously protecting something. But I think for
yeah,
smaller brands, I see so much it's not a shit video. They get it to, okay, sort of good, but then they're pushing so hard for this like Golden Globe style, like,
yeah,
obviously not Golden Globe, but they're trying to get it to perfect. And there's no
yeah,
real benefit, in my opinion. No one's going to look at that video from here to here and go, I want to buy from you now because you've got a really good video. Like, they're going to see that
yeah,
here. And at this point, when you're growing a business, it's just about like just getting eyes and just trying to build brand awareness. I think, you could
okay,
probably get 5 videos out in this area and maybe only one out in this area. And I think that's,
yeah, yeah,
and you never know if this one's going to work. Just because it's well produced doesn't mean it's going to perform well. We've seen it
yeah,
so
very
many
true.
times. So yeah, I think there is a grey area there. So I think it's something to consider, just like that over
Yeah,
polished. And we've seen a huge trend as well, like on TikTok the last couple of years. People have actually been scrolling by videos when they're too well produced. Like, they just think you're trying to sell them something. It looks like an ad,
yes,
which it doesn't belong
yeah,
in that platform. And I do think things are changing. I think the landscape's changing slightly now to geared towards like a little bit better quality content. We've seen it now
yeah,
taking shape that way. And who knows where it's going to be in 3 years? It might go back the way TikTok might not
yeah,
even exist. Like, no one really knows
that's true.
how it's going to change or take shape. But we are starting to see, I don't know if you are, Scott, as well, but I'm starting to see more of a trend towards, or a trend line towards better quality stuff. Now again, I'm not saying Golden Globe stuff, but just better quality on TikTok and the
Yeah, I
likes
know. I
of.
get what
I think people.
Yeah, I get that. I think a lot of people,
It is.
especially startups, is like about first impressions. Obviously, the visual appeal of their videos. So like you said, trying to get to that Golden Globe level. But yeah, we do have like a grey area that needs to be like addressed. I think like that grey area is still good enough. I think.
Hmm.
Like when we say grey area, I think like that might come across to someone like, oh, are my videos in a grey area? Is that not good enough? But it is. We just need to find the balance there, because let's put it into shades of colour. You've got like light grey, which is edging towards your Golden Globes era, and then you've got dark grey that's edging back towards your trash. Like we need to get that out there. It's fine to be in the grey area, but be in the right side of the grey area.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think my point was more, and I won't say any names, but like we've had clients in the past who are so picky about the finite details to the point where it's just like, this isn't making sense to us, like you're eating into your budget, and really and truly, like the thing right now, at least where I'd be looking at this, like I'm looking at this going, this is a good video, it's good enough. And I can't remember who said it. I think it was Casey Neistat. I don't know if you ever followed his stuff. The GOAT, all time OG of daily vlogging YouTube. He made it popular, I guess, and he always said, like, don't, what was it he said, like perfect or good at, I don't even know what he said. It was something along the lines of like, don't push for perfect, good enough is good enough. I don't know his actual, I need to look it up now because that's going to annoy me.
You just you're a man of quotes. You need a little a quote book.
I love it, mate.
You can just reference. That'll be your secret Santa for this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Quote book. All the top quotes.
There we go. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. Thank God for the internet saving me here. But I think, think about that for a second. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. And I think, again, so many brands, especially in the early points, is like pushing for that perfect video. And it's just like, it's the enemy of good enough. Again, perfect, Golden Globe, whatever you want to call it. But in here, we've got this grey area, like you say, the light grey, I think you said, where it's like, it's on the good end of the grey area. That's the good enough point, right? And I think there's no need to go from good enough to try and push it towards perfect unless you are a filmmaker, because that's what you're going to be judged on. But if you're like, a product-based or a service-based or brick-and-mortar-based company, business, whatever, like, good enough is going to work just fine. And you don't need to necessarily push so hard for the perfect video because shouldn't be your priority, I don't think.
So in relation to this, relating to what we've just been speaking about, so what would some cost-effective ways to improve the quality of your video content impact and its effectiveness? Because obviously, if you're a startup company or whatever, like you might not have the budget. Like we always talk about budget because it's the most important thing. Like when you're starting up, and I feel like a lot of businesses hearing this will be like, okay, I want to create that light grey area content going into the Golden Globe era of content, but how do I do that when I've not got a massive budget to do so?
Good question. Just get yourself a good iPhone. Like you're gonna, it's got more than one use, I guess. So you're not just like investing all in a camera or whatever. I actually don't think there's an excuse for like really shitty quality videos unless like if you're a business, there's no excuse. Like you should have enough budget to have a spare iPhone or like something, or you've really got to then consider why you're in business in the first place, if I'm honest. But yeah, just like, you can, a good quality iPhone, it's going to be good enough, right? As we said. Then if you're doing outside filming or any sort of like background noise, you're going to need a mic. Like that's the most important thing. I think people focus so hard on the actual, the look and feel of the video. But I think like, if I tune into a video and it's like a bit grainy, okay, I can watch this. But if I tune into a video and it's like muffled and it's like, I can't watch that shit. Yeah, I'm skipping straight away. Skip. But I think that's like your most important thing. Like just go on I would always recommend like Rhodes, for example. They're always good mics. Are, you know, cost effective really. $100 will get you a decent mic.
Yes.
And then from there, I guess just like, yeah, just trying to like have different camera angles, like making it spicy, the video production, you know, the post production, you know, you have to do a bit with it. I don't think you can get away with just like shooting a video raw and then just like that's it. You have to do something with it. So whether that's like adding captions or B-roll or any of these sort of things. But I think again, there's no real excuse. You've got all these tools now, like free tools. You've even got free you know, sort of like learning platforms that you can go on. Skillshare, I'm not saying that's free, but what I meant to say was like you go on there, pay $20 a month, you get access to all these courses about learning how to film, how to position lighting, you know, how like where your DB levels should be, all of these sort of things. So I just think there's no excuse. You've got the internet. Go learn.
I 100% agree with like the whole no excuse. So a story from myself. So I actually, before I joined 2610, I reached out to someone about like making a video, and it was like an independent travel agent woman. So like basically I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a cool name, and her page on Instagram it sounds horrible, but it was tacky. So like it was one of those that like they had a video, but it was like a picture with just music playing and like it was like a PowerPoint text like sliding in, and I was like,
love those.
Yeah, it was very it was what you're doing like BTech school kind of style. Yeah, but I don't want to shit on her too much. Reached out to her, said like I'd make a video, which was all good. And going back to what you said, use B-roll footage. I made the whole video out of B-roll footage. Added music that was like free music that I could use, and like it was just. I don't want to like make myself big-headed, but it turned out to be a really good video, and it would have helped massively with her like following an audience, because they would have seen that video and been like, wow, this is cool. I want to use this travel agent because look at this video. Like it helps massively. It's the same when you watch TV and then like an advert comes up to like these travel agents. It gets you in the mood for a holiday. You're like, oh, let's go to their website, check out their deals. It's the same with like this independent travel agent. Shit side of it, they never used me. They never got back to me. So it was a wasted video.
They couldn't have liked it that much, Scott. You're telling everyone how great it is.
I promise it was a good video.
No, I think the ending point there, just to wrap this up, I think you know, people look at, I've got to make videos, let's go and spend thousands on cameras and setups and everything. And I think the most important thing is there, you know, it triggers emotion. Video triggers emotion. Yes. And so whenever you're thinking about video, your focus should solely be on the story, the message that you're trying to convey. And that's where you should spend your time. And that's where you should spend your budget as well. Like, get help from people that know, and think about what you're trying to achieve with that. And oftentimes you'll find you don't need a high quality camera to convey that message. Like you say, you can use B-roll, you can use all these sort of like other sites and stuff like that, and that's it, I guess.